Mark and Amanda, good evening. Jacob Pickett, Deputy Pickett, described as a warrior, a family man, someone committed to his profession. He was killed in the line of duty following a chase in the city of Lebanon. The suspect, 21-year-old Anthony Baumgart, we're told he is the prime suspect. He's described as the shooter by the state police superintendent. He will survive his injuries. And today we also learned that the Boone County Sheriff, Mike Nielsen, was among the many officers who rushed to the scene in hopes of reviving Deputy Pickett. He recounts those painful moments.
I was in my office. I heard the call come out that they were in a pursuit, and I started that way from my office. And I'm sorry. We were able to, after the shots fired, I was one of the first three officers on the scene, and the officers were administering CPR and life-saving measures for Jake. And the medics got there, and I will say that our medics are top class.
An emotional day there, a day of grieving in Boone County. Deputy Pickett will leave a legacy behind as an organ donor as well as a family man. Our team coverage now continues with our Paris Lobel, who is also here at St. Vincent Hospital. Paris?
Raphael, we're learning more about Deputy Pickett. He was taken here to St. Vincent's ER after that shooting tonight, and we're learning from the sheriff that he will leave behind 2 sons and a wife, as well as his canine partner, Brick, during that horrible shooting today. Now, the sheriff talked about the Deputy Pickett's passion and drive to help the community and make sure he was the best police officer that he could be. The sheriff said he started at Tipton County Sheriff's Office. He worked there for 2 years and then joined the Boone County Sheriff's Office 3 years ago and always volunteered to do more. He led the Sheriff's Department's new canine team of 4 officers and loved doing that, he said. And the sheriff goes on to say that he was on his normal shift today and jumped in to help when Lebanon police were on that chase and he was shot.
It doesn't matter if you're in blue, green, brown, or grill suit. We're all doing the same job here, and we're doing it together. And I don't understand evil in our society. What would have caused that individual to pull that trigger on that brave public servant? I guess we'll never really know.
The sheriff says Deputy Pickett will be an organ donor and he will remain here at St. Vincent's Hospital, watched over by another officer. Raphael?
Paris, thank you so much. We should explain that we are here at St. Vincent Hospital on the north side of Indianapolis because after the shooting, this is where the officer's body was brought. The deputy's organs will be procured here, then donations will begin later on. We should point out that Officer and Deputy Pickett was at an elementary school with his canine officer, Brick, this morning before he responded to that call. That's where he was this morning, and then he responded to that chase on I-65. Our team coverage now continues with our Katie Hines, who's there at the scene. And Katie, based on what I can see, it remains a very active investigation.
Raphael, police still here on the scene, blocking off the entrance to the Indian Springs apartment complex here in Lebanon. Their investigation continuing nearly 8 hours later. They tell us that they will be investigating into the evening, searching all leads, questioning any witnesses, and finding out as much information as they can. And you know, it all started back around 8:30 this morning. That's when officers were attempting to serve an outstanding warrant to a woman a few blocks away from here. While searching for her, they spotted 28-year-old John Baldwin Jr. at this apartment complex. Officers knew that he had an outstanding warrant, so they ordered him to stop. But Baldwin instead hopped into a Ford Focus with his father and a third person, and he took off. Officers followed, and at some point during the chase, a Boone County Sheriff's deputy, that Deputy Pickett, got involved to help. About 7 minutes later, the car stopped on Indian Springs Road, and all 3 men hopped out and ran, and that's when Deputy Pickett, who was chasing the suspect on foot, was shot. One of the suspects, 21-year-old Anthony Baumgart, also shot during that exchange of gunfire. The father fled on foot, causing officers to block off multiple streets in the area while they searched for him. Meantime, his son got back into the car and led officers on another chase that eventually ended on I-65.
Then again, another set of 4 shots, and the next thing we know, there's police officers everywhere on the street.
There's a lot of police everywhere. There's still a lot out there. I think it's a tragedy. I feel awful about it.
And we can tell you that all of Lebanon's public schools were on lockdown for several hours this morning as police searched the area and tried to find that third suspect. They tell us again that they'll be out here probably for several hours into the evening, but they don't believe that there is any ongoing threat to this community. Reporting live in Lebanon, Katie Hines, RTV6.